Hello guys and welcome to my new video. It's gameplay time, Ruby Amethyst versus Purple Steel. I was up against Martin Knotzer, a very strong Purple Steel player, to showcase my newest Ruby Amethyst build, so you can learn from my mistakes and get some insights on how to play Ruby Amethyst in set 10. Before we dive into the gameplay, don't forget to subscribe for more Lorcana videos. And now, have fun, let's go! So going into game number 1, I was on the play. And this is the list I've been playing. You can watch a detailed deck profile video in my recent release. I will link it somewhere on the screen right now and in the video description as well. I also try to get a hand on Martin's list. If I get a list from him, I will link it in the video description as well. I know Martin's a strong player, I know what to expect, so my game plan was like to curve out and see where this game goes. And now let's start with the gameplay. So I'm on the play here, turn 1, inking a Peter Pan but missing my 1-drop, which is not a good start. He's starting off with a Captain Hook to have some challenging power on the draw. And yeah, not a good start for me here. Inking and Hades and then going with Lena Saberwing to have an evasive character on board. And yeah, in turn 2 he is dropping Lena Saberwing himself and questing with Hook to gain 1 lore. So I'm inking a Rafiki, going Peter Pan in turn 2 and just questing for 1, knowing that he probably take out my character in his 3rd turn. And with 3 ink he's dropping a Lexington, which is a nightmare for all my evasive characters I have in my deck, and he's leaving his Captain Hook ready. I'm already at 4 ink, inking an Elsa here and then dropping a Dumbo, hoping he will survive. If he finds a Strength or a Zeus the next turn, yeah, probably Dumbo is gone. He's drawing a card of Genie and singing Strength of Raging Fire onto my Dumbo as expected, questing with Captain Hook. Unfortunately, my Dumbo is gone, so I can't profit from him the next turn. I'm dropping Headless Horseman on his Genie, removing him from the game, boosting up my Peter Pan strength to 2. I'm just thinking, okay, do I quest here for 2 or do I like smaller his board, take out the Captain Hook here, take the damage on Peter Pan. And since he has 3 or more hand cards, his Lexington doesn't ready, so yeah, he can't take out my Peter Pan in this turn. He's dropping a 5-cost Elsa, exerting my Headless Horseman and removing him from the board, taking 4 damage on his Elsa. And I'm left with only Peter Pan on board. He has 2 hand cards, so his Lexington will re-ready the next turn. I'm playing a Hades on his Lexington and he's denying me the card draw. He's putting his Lexington under his deck and I'm questing for 2 with Peter Pan here. Actually, in all my testing, in 95% of the cases, Hades drew me 2 cards. In this case, he denied me the card draw. He's dropping a 4-cost Demona with a challenging power and he's trading up with his Elsa into my Peter Pan. So board wise he's a little bit ahead actually. Ink wise he's also a little bit ahead. I'm dropping a Peter Pan and a Lumiere here to boost up the strength of my Hades. And just quest here, expecting that he will run into my Hades with Demona. And yeah, carefully thinking, he is dropping a big Demona here, exerting all my characters. We both draw cards of her, and he is removing Lumiere from the board, which is a wise play, so my other characters won't be buffed, and dropping a Palace Guard at the end of his turn. So I have like 4 cards in hand now with the effect of his 6-cost Demona. So a lot of options here, but the big Demona is scary. She has a huge body and the challenging Demona has a huge body as well. So it will be a hard challenge to get her off board. I'm dropping a Dumbo immediately, using his effect with Peter Pan, drawing a card, gaining 1 lore. Actually, this is the first time I'm playing a Dumbo deck, to be honest with you. But yeah, I really like it. I really like it. And he's dropping we can't see it on the screen, but because of the light. But he's dropping a Sword of Hercules, removing my Hades, and then also a Calhoun, and of course perfectly sequence it here with a dog to draw 2 cards. And now with the sword on board, whenever he challenges and banishes a character, he gains 1 lore. He just decides to quest out with Demona and the Palace Guard and go up to 6 lore. I'm using Dumbo effect with Dumbo, gaining 1 lore, draw 1 card. I have like 5 cards in hand now, all the options. Inking a Hermes here. And yeah, I need to do something about his board, because I really struggle against wider boards with this deck, because I don't have mass removal. And I'm dropping a Tinkerbell here, 1 drop, and a 5-cost Elsa, exerting. Yeah, it's difficult actually, exerting his Calhoun. And I can't even take out any character on his side. And since I know he's running Cheshire Cat and Belle, I think, in his list, I didn't deal too much damage, but still decide to deal some damage on the 4-cost Demona and then quest with Peter Pan to gain some lore, because he has no evasive answers on board right now. But he's going wide. I try to go wide as well. And yeah, he is preparing 5 ink here, dropping a Hades onto my Dumbo, and I decide, okay, do I give him the hand cards? He has like 2 cards in hand right now, 2 ink still to use, and I give him the hand cards because I value my Dumbo so much, because I have Elsa on board, I have Peter Pan on board, so I can draw and gain lore the next turn. And he is dropping more characters, a Black Heron and a Captain Hook, and he's just questing out at this point, getting I think 6 or 7 lore here, 6 lore, going up to 12. And yeah, I really have to do something about his board. But going wide is really a problem for Ruby Amethyst these days, because we don't have a board web like Big Caesar or Be Prepared anymore. We can only have single target removal and the challenging power. And dropping multiple characters in a turn like Martin does in this game is really a problem. I can't deal with all the characters on his board, because he also has some huge bodies like the both Demonas on board and some ready characters. And I don't have much removal available at this moment. I take out his Calhoun with my small Tinkerbell, remove the 4-cost Demona with Elsa here, and then I'm using Hermes here with his rush ability to take out Doc, having 1 damage on Hermes, using Dumbo effect with Dumbo, drawing a card, gain 1 lore, and with 4 I drop a Genie, and then I just quest with Peter Pan to keep up with lore. At least I took out 3 of his characters this turn, but will it be enough? I mean, I have some evasive characters on board now, and he doesn't have any evasive answers, but still, he's dropping a Genie here, drawing cards, and his card draw engine is really online in this game with Demona, with multiple Genies. And he's dropping a Cheshire Cat here, so he can move damage the next turn, taking out my Hermes and questing up to 18. So now I have to deal with all of his characters, actually leaving only 1 character on board. But this is pretty much impossible here, I think. Using 9 ink, drop a Maleficent Dragon, taking out his Diablo, but the rest of his characters are just too strong. I don't have enough challenging power with my characters on board. I can't take out all of his characters. It's just not enough. And yes, I lost game number 1 with scooping here, and Martin won game number 1. So going into game number 2, my game plan will be similar to game number 1, curving out perfectly, not missing my 1-drop this time, but being on the draw against a very strong purple steel deck and a very strong purple steel player is difficult enough. Yeah, let's hope for a good curve. Let's hope I can attack and control his board early on, so he can't go that wide. Let's see how game number 2 goes for me against Martin and Purple Steel. So Martin is inking and dropping a Palace Guard with 1 strength, 4 health. Pretty okay for a 1-drop, so he can quest out pretty easily. Inking a Tinkerbell here and going with Rafiki. It's a good card being on the draw Rafiki, so I can deal 3 damage on his 1-drop character, and he follows up with a Calhoun, which is usually the play to go on the play for Purple Steel. I'm dropping a Lumiere here, boosting up my Rafiki and taking out his Palace Guard, which is pretty okay actually. A good start here. He's dropping a Lexington, of course. He trades into my Rafiki, which was expected. I'm inking a Hades here in turn 3, dropping a Hermes with Rush, taking out his Calhoun, and Lumiere stays ready. He's dropping a Dumbo, questing with Lexington, goes up to 4 lore already, and I'm dropping a Genie, drawing a card, expecting to see a 5-cost Elsa. Yeah, he's inking a White Rose, dropping a 5-cost Elsa, taking out my Lumiere instead of my Genie here, and he's just questing with Lexington and leaving his Dumbo ready so he can use his effect later in the game. I'm dropping a Bronx here with thick strength and a Diablo, 2-drop uninkable character, 3 strength, who willpower quest for 2, and I'm questing with Genie to keep up with the lore here, going up to 2 and now trailing 2 to 5, and he's playing another Lexington, and of course he has a Dock in hand, drawing 2 cards, and then he is of course taking out my Genie with the first Lexington he has on board, and he's thinking like, okay, should I ink, use a Dumbo effect, and yeah, sometimes it's difficult to choose what to do. He's inking a Captain Hook, using Dumbo effect, gaining 1 lore, drawing a card, and questing with Elsa because she's evasive and can't be touched from my characters. But Bronx is scary, but Bronx has Reckless, so he has to attack, and his Lexington is exerted, so he has to attack this turn, and since Lexington has 4th rank, my Bronx will only live for 1 turn and 1 attack. But first off, drawing a card of Genie, then dropping a Lumiere, and then of course trading into his Lexington and questing with my Diablo up to 4 lore, and now all my characters are buffed by Lumiere, which is good. Dealing 4 damage is okay, but he finds yet another 5-cost Elsa, exerting my Lumiere and dropping another Sword of Hercules, which gives him 1 lore every time he banishes one of my characters, and he just, yeah, like banishes all I have left on my board. Like he leaves only Genie alive and quests up to 12 lore here, and it's pretty much like game over at this point already, because he has like 5 characters on board. He has the Sword of Hercules, which gives him 1 lore for each challenge or for each banished character. I'm inking a Maleficent Dragon here, questing for 2 with Genie, knowing that he will very certain challenge with Lexington into my Genie, taking him out and gaining another lore. Using his Dumbo effect, first of all, drawing a card, gain 1 lore. Then for 5, he is aiming for my ready Genie, and I have only 1 card in hand, and I know I need the cards. Actually, I need the cards, and he would have probably taken it out with Strength of a Raging Fire anyway. I'm giving him the hand cards again, and then he is of course singing a Timu Zeus with Elsa, dropping a Diablo, questing with Dog and Elsa up to 16. I've only 1 card in hand, and there isn't really much I can do here. Dropping a Dumbo, dropping a Laner, Saberwing, and this is game number 2 also. for Martin, being on the play with purple steel is just too strong. And yeah, that's it for today. Maybe not the best showcase of my new Ruby Amethyst deck, but going against a very strong purple steel player isn't maybe not the best way to showcase a newly built deck idea. Even though I will continuously work on my Ruby Amethyst deck because I really like this color combo in set 10. It's the first time I'm sleeving up a Ruby Amethyst deck for like 2 years now into Lorcana, and I'm really enjoying it. And I will explore different directions and keep you posted and updated on Ruby Amethyst in set 10. If you like such videos, give it a like. If you're new to the channel, I'm always happy about new viewers on my channel, so hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Flokki.